You talk about these workers being professional, highly qualified seafarers, paid £4.87 an hour. Do you think that's in any way acceptable? Does that represent good work? You wouldn't do it, would you? You've already told this committee you wouldn't get out of bed for £4.87 an hour. But you expect other people to do it. They're human beings.
The rates of pay that we pay are substantially ahead of the international law that we're governed by.
Okay.
That is international law that this government and all of its predecessors have signed up to, and 96% of all shipping. We operate in an international industry, recruiting from an international field, and most importantly, seafarers, professional seafarers of the highest quality that could work anywhere.
We're talking about the UK.
Here.
You and I are British citizens. We're talking about ships that use UK ports regularly. We have standards in this country, do we not, where we aspire that people who go to work have enough money to pay their bills and have a good, flourishing life. How on earth are these rates of pay in any way consistent with that ambition and those values?
So in British waters, when the law changes, we will pay national minimum wage. We already pay national minimum wage on domestic routes.
So you're waiting for that change before you'll do the right thing. It's a minimum wage for a reason, is it not?
It's a minimum wage for UK workers. We recruit from an international field and operate in international waters.
Look, I get the point you're making, but it just appears to this committee that what you're getting away with what amounts to modern day slavery. At these sorts of rates, at these terms and conditions, people being confined to ship. You talk about it as being a holiday camp, where other people describe it as a prison. So I'll take you on this offer of access to the vessels. I'll tell you what, will you allow Nautilus and P&O to spend some considerable time on these vessels, talking to members of staff without any fetter or control from you or your agencies?
Let me go back to your earlier comment. I categorically resist. In the strongest terms, your description, which I don't think is appropriate.
Well, I've got to tell you, Mr. Hebblethwaite, the people in this country are appalled at the behaviour of P&O over this instance. So I think you can, your pearl clutching doesn't really cut the mustard in this committee. People are appalled by what you've done. So I ask you again, will you allow full access by trade unions, unfettered by you or your agencies, to speak at length to these workers and get a first-hand account?
Our unions represent our employees. They already have access to those businesses and those parts of our business, and those, of course, will do. 786
people lost their jobs. Let's talk about them. Are they members of trade unions, the ones that have replaced them?
I believe so. I don't know. We're not. First of all, they're not our employees. Secondly,
I want to come on to that.
It's not normal for a.
Will you give an undertaking to allow trade unions to access all of your workforces across all of your ferries, to have those conversations and seek representation so they can better their terms and conditions?
So what I've said is that where there are trade unions that represent our employees, they already have that access. There is no requirement for any additional access.
Okay. So let me just turn to the agency that you use. Who is in control of the place that the people that now crew these ships work in? Who's in control of the place of work?
Place of work in terms of the cabins?
The ship.
So we're responsible.
So that's yours.
We are responsible for the ship.
So are you responsible for the hours that they work, or is that arranged by other people, or have you got some direct say in that?
The terms under which the crew is employed is set by the crewing agent.
No. What's your input into that? I'm sure if there's a piece of paper that sets out we are the agency, we're going to give you these terms. You've got a say in that, haven't you?
So our requirement is that all crew must be employed on a fully legal basis, and more importantly...
Thank you. So that's it. Despite this charade of the agency, they're your employees, aren't they?
No.
Yep. Well, you just set out the terms and conditions. You read some of the Denning judgments over the years, you'll find out that that's exactly where it is. Sorry, Chair, I just want to ask, you're comparing apples with apples. We talked about professional, highly qualified seafarers on £4.87 an hour. What's your salary?
Let me answer that in 1 second.
Ask what is your salary?
I will answer that in 1 second, but you made an assertion that isn't correct, and I'm afraid I can't allow to stand.
Do correct the assertion and then come to the substance of Mr. McDonald's question.
The crew are not employed by us. The crew are employed by the crewing agent, a third party that we employ to crew our ships. The crew are not employed by us. That is a very important technical point.
Mr. Hebblethwaite, I'm really content about the devices that you use through agencies for employers and companies such as yourself for you to abrogate your responsibilities. I'm familiar with the structure. I ask you again, what's your salary?
The crewing model that we have is the industry standard. My salary is £325,000 a year.
And what were the bonuses you received over the last 2 years?
I received a payment in April 2023
of
183,000 before tax.
183,000. So I can't do my maths very quickly, Mr. Lavery. Is that over £500,000?
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
£508,000.
And you're sitting here telling us that you're paying wages of an acceptable rate, something you would never contemplate for yourself or any member of your family or your friends. Do you think that's moral in any way?
I reflected on accepting that payment, but ultimately I did decide to accept it, and I do recognise that is not a decision that everybody would have made, and I do recognise there are people in this room who would not have made the same decision, but it is the decision that I made.
My goodness me, you make some difficult decisions that never impact upon you. They seem to benefit you. The difficult decisions you made to fire people without consultation, a hard decision to take. It's been a tough decision for you to take a salary of over £500,000. You have a tough life, Mr. Hebblethwaite. No more questions. Thank you, Ben.